Hello friends, my name is Shivam from Devops Schools and I will help you to enable your learning process in various technologies of DevOps, artificial intelligence, machine learning, big data and many more. This is our initiative to help you by sharing multiple tutorials and videos. And if you want any specific tutorials or any particular topic, then please do comment in the below comment section and I will help you with it. Also, please subscribe to our premium services on YouTube, which will give you access to more content and videos to enhance your knowledge about all these topics. Also, if you want me to help you with regards to the online trainings and classroom sessions by our qualified trainers, then please do write me at contact@devopsschool.com. Thank you.
Yeah, so today we are going to focus on intermediate search and search techniques, and we are going to also focus on the reports, dashboards, and alerts. So these are the topics for the day. So last day we have learned basic search techniques. How can we search terms, commands with the functions, arguments, and clause? And today we'll extend those topics with some more things. So, yep, if you can recall this, we have studied broad search. Initially, we put it, and then keywords. So, keyword, the one which you can put it up with the field or some keyword which you are searching for it, and then you want to filter it out. So keep piping and then command followed by functions, argument, clause, all these things you can keep doing it. So we have done it in the last session. So now look at that. Let's look at the some of the transforming commands. Now transforming commands transform the output so we can consume in a effective way. Some of the transforming commands which include stop, rare, stats, table, chart, and time chart. Okay, so these are the very popular transforming commands which we have in a Splunk. Okay, so now what exactly the top command can do? So in order to use the top command, you have to specify top and then followed by space and field name. Now top command return the most common values of given field. Again, return the most common values of the given field. Default to 10 fields per pages. Now it can combine with the limit is equal to number to display the number of results, more or less as well. Now top command automatically build a table with the count and percentage column. Yeah, so this is a table which get created automatically, and there's two addition field which got introduced. uh, One is a count and another one is percent. Now this can be used with multiple fields as well, and return the top value for the field organized by another field also. Okay, so clause you can also add it. Now let's look at some of the example here. Look at it. So we are searching some data, homework. Now homework data, you can find it in the same place. Let me show you where to find it, that data. So while doing some of these labs, you can upload the data. How to upload the data, you know that. So here, demo and lab. This URL, I believe you might have saved it, Splunk sample data. I'll share with you this URL in the chat window also. It has a lots of sample data in it. Okay. Now, when I say home data is here, this one. Okay, homework data set. Okay, so this has a data, and this kind of queries will work on that data set. So here you are trying to find it out. uh, the user, okay, top user which has a critical label set and belong to any state. So here you see here host is equal to homework. While pushing the data, you have to set the homework as a host name. Then it has a field, it can be anything, or state, and label should be critical. But whereas you want to display only the top, Okay, top by the state. That means each state tell me how many users is in a critical condition, so something like that. So here you see these are the user top state by level you got to know. So here top user and then followed by the filter. Now you got to know all the users. Now what you are doing, top state by label. So you can see look at the last line, that will be more clear. So label critical and top user by label. So here this is what you are doing. Okay, so here you are displaying the the top user, the user which has more number of entries in the records of the data set. And you see here goal mess 0 has 43 count. That means 43 times he's having entry in the index, and which has a label is equal to critical. Okay, that is a thing. And followed by you see the number of users and how many times critical condition has reached by goal mass 0, 21%. So yeah, two fields you can see, count and percentage, which get added by default when you use top. Okay, let's look at some of the other formats of top also. Here the top command find the most common value of a given field in the result set, and by default output display in the table format, which you discussed. Now there is a scenario, and scenario is determine which IP address. This query you can run on the Linux one, which you have downloaded already. So remember, the yesterday you downloaded the sample data set and it had the Linux. So that data sets this query will work. Now, so what exactly is been said here? So scenario is determine which IP addresses generated the most attack in the last 60 minutes. Okay, so you want to know in your Linux website, which IP address has access to your website, that means attack, in the last 60 minutes. Okay, so here what you are doing, index you have selected, source type you have selected. Now here you are trying to find out fail star. That means this will include fail, failed, failure, failing, all this thing it will get added. Remember, so even though if in your log you have a fail, failing, failed, failure, and anything related to that, it will get added, or invalid. Okay, so here there is no regular expression, so it has to match. So here either give me the any data set, any event record with the fail, star, or invalid, and then you give me the which is the top IP address which got hit with. Okay, so here you are going to find out which IP address generated the most attack in the last 60 minutes. Now why do you need this data? Any idea why do you need this data? What can you do with this data? So here you see source IP 132.55, 227, 221. You got the IP address, and that's where the attack is generating from. So 105 request has come from that particular IP address. So what can you do here?
We can identify any malicious activity.
You can definitely identify them, but here's they are trying to log in. So they must be having, think about it, 105 times in last 60 minutes someone has logged into your system. So that means it's not a human, right? Now it
Yeah,
cannot
yeah,
be human.
yeah. They had set
It
up some bot. Yeah,
Yeah, it's a
yeah.
bot, it's a robot actually, correct? So now what can you do? So you got this data. Now this IP address you can block this. Again, there is a problem here. You can block this IP address automatically. Actions can be taken by Splunk also. Okay, you can through a Splunk you can call any other scripts. By the way, you can call any other script, infrastructure script also during the action time. But should be blocked forever? No. It should not be blocked forever, because you know that these IP address will belong to not to the hacker IP address. This IP address will belong to the your ISP's IP address. So if some other genuine user is trying to access your website from the same ISP's provider, then they will be also blocked. Don't you think so? Correct now?
Yeah, right.
So you have to be very carefully craft the rules of blocking. Okay, so you should, maybe you should block temporarily. Okay, so that way their robots will get failed. So now what you can add a condition, let's say you found out these issues. Okay, this IP address is hitting 105 times, that means there's concern. So let me do one thing. The moment is in any IP address which is more than 20 threshold, let me block for 10 minutes or 20 minutes. So that way those script will get frustrated, actually not you, they will get frustrated. Are you getting my points?
Yeah.
So like that you can say, okay, from this IP address, if the login count is more than 5 in 60 minutes, block that. How much? 20 minutes, 10 minutes. So that way their compute power will be, you will be increasing their compute power, and they'll be wasting time and infrastructure also for trying to get into that. Okay, same time you can secure your login module, so any robot sort of hacking should be avoided. So many things can be done. So here many things can be done, and this can be done. So yeah, how can you find out? Top is the command which will help you with this. Now top has a many ways to get it also. So by default, I don't know whether you looked at it or not. If you click on the left side interesting field, okay, and any fields you click on it, by default that top values by each field, you will get it on the GUI also. Okay, so if you want the top values, you can get it on the GUI, but most of the time we run the queries, and it's very important for us, all of us, to know that query than playing with the GUI. Though it's very comfortable, you can work with it, but queries is a more powerful. So now if you see that, if you go and click on the any of the, look at the image here, under the interesting fields, you click on the any fields and you click on the top values. Now top values will give you the GUI, but will not give you the queries. So here you can see that on the same place you have a queries also. So here index is equal to web, source type is equal to access combined, action is equal to purchase, okay, and status is equal to 200. That means you want to know, okay, so total how many how many logs you have, how many records you have, where the transaction is purchased, that means successful transaction purchase, transaction purchase, and status is 200. 200 means successful transaction, successful purchase. But you can also find out, okay, how many transaction has happened on my website where the action has been initiated purchase, but the person has not purchased anything, the status is still not 200. That means you can find out how many clients is coming to your website, they are trying to purchase, they're clicking on the purchase, but due to some reason they are not able to initiate the purchase. Success status is not 200. So those are the statistics you can find it out, and all these statistics which you are trying to find out, it should be in your mind. Okay, no one can tell you. So here look at this here this queries is trying to find out top by category ID. That means which are the categories where the most purchase has happened. And you see here top category ID is strategy, accessories, arcade, tea, and stuff like that, clothes and all. So like that. And you want to see the only 20 results, so you can limit that 20 results. So yes, this is the way. So yes, by default return the top 10 results, automatically return count and percentage column, which I said, common constraint, limit, count field, and show percentage. What is a common constraint? So common constraint means this command, which is the top command, you can use 3 additional sub command. We call it constraint in Splunk. Sub command, which is one is a limit, another was count field, another one show percentage. Limit, you can set the number of lines, number of results. Count field, you can count the field, and so percentage you can say. Count field means the field count which you can see on the image, and the percentage, so percentage. So count field you can enable, disable, so percentage you can enable, disable also. So yes, top command with a limit 20 is automatically added to your search string when you click on the top value in the field windows. Okay, so let's look at some of the scenarios again. See here, this is a single field. Okay, so here you are saying control and the number of results displayed using the limit. So limit is equal to number of return, the number of results. Limit is equal to return unlimited results. Understand that is. So if you specify 5 or 10, it will display only 5 or 10. If you say 0, it will return unlimited results. So that is how it is. So now if you see that there's one scenario on the database, during the last hour, display the top 5 IPs that generated the most attack. Okay, so you're trying to get this data. Again, this data you can access it on the Linux, the sample data which you downloaded yesterday. Okay, so here what you can do now, you are indexing security. Index is equal to security. Source type is Linux secure. Here again failed and invalid, and here top limit is equal to 5. So you top 5 and by source IP. So from which IP they have generated all the most attacks. So this is how you get it. Now you can add a multiple field to the top command also. Okay, so see here it says the constraint if the show percentage is not included or it is included and set to T-A percentage column is displayed. So that means if you want to enable or disable some thing, you can do that here. So here the scenario is display the top 3 column values of users and web category. Here is a multiple field. Okay, and web categories browsed during the last 24 hours. So now if you see here, first thing I want to know top 3 common values for the user. Okay, so here for the user, so here I said okay, top CS username. So you got all the user, by default you get 10, but here you see that limit is last 3. Okay, but the same time you should also okay and web browse during the last 24 hours. So here you are adding one more field, x_webcat_code. Okay, so that way 2. So here you have a and, remember that's the and. So in between the username and code full, if you have a more count, display the top 3. So that is how you have seen here Koslin, Kperna, and all these things. They have generated errors during the transactions. And how many numbers of count has got it? 81, and 81 count on 61 count and 51 count. That's a percentage also. So this is also where you can add multiple fields to it. Now you can also, with the top command, you can also add single field with by clause. Okay, so how this is useful for you? So let's look at the scenario number 1 in this slide. Display the top 3 web categories here browsed by each user during the last 24 hours. Okay, so here what you are saying, top category but by username. Okay, so display by a username. Okay, that means when it's a clause, this is a clause, so you will see that the field clause, but the top has been added on the categories, not on the user. Understand that. So here top, this one, and top 3, but show me by the username. Okay, so here you are trying to add it. You can see the results here by username, category, top 3 category for that particular user. So that way. Now scenario number 2, display the top 3 user in each web category. In each, here is a each web category. Okay, understand that. Here it was a web categories browsed by, but here it's each web category. okay, during the last 24 hours. So what you are doing, stop username by the category name, and full limit is equal to 3. So this is also you can play opposite way. So here you see username by category name. So see the difference between scenario no, scenario 1 and scenario 2. So first one is display the top 3 web categories. Top 3 web categories. Here display the top 3 users. Here by each user during the last 24 hours, by each category by, so that way you can change the queries and get the right results. Are you able to understand this? Are you able to understand this?
Yeah, right. But in
Yes.
scenario, yeah, but in scenario two, I think only two categories are mentioned. I think we have given limit equal to 3, right?
So 3 categories will be displayed.
But only 2 categories are there. Maybe probably because of the screenshot.
Just a second. Display the last 3 users. No, here you are displaying the top by username, not category name. You are displaying the by category. That means this particular user. You remember top username, not by category, not top by category. Here the first one is with the category. So here you are saying, give me the top username which has occurrence more, but show me by category name. That means show me which category that belongs to that top user. So it says like that.
Okay.
Got it?
Yeah.
Okay, let's look at some of the more variations here. You can also use top command to the renaming the fields also. Renaming we have tried yesterday also, but here with the top command, remember in the last sessions we tried rename as a command, but here it's not using as a command. So how to rename the field? So see here, by default the display name of the count field is a count, okay, and one is a percentage. So how can you rename that? So count field is equal to string, rename that the field for the display purposes. So remember here we had a 3 string constraint. See here, limit, count field, and so percentage. So if you want to count field, if you can use to change the string also. How can you change it? Look at the scenario first. Read this very carefully. Display the top 3 user and web category. Okay, here user and web category. So here there is a 2 condition. Okay, and user and web category combinations during the last 24 hours, and rename the count field and show count but not the percentage. See here you are saying first display the top 3 users and categories combination during the last 24 hours, but also rename the field which is the count field, and also show the only count but not the percentage, because percentage and count both are default field which will come along with the top command. So here look at this now queries, top username and category name both you are added here. That means both the fields will be added while calculating the top command. Now limit 3, so you got to know that is like you want only 3 limits, but here what you are doing, count field you are using is equal to total viewed, and now you see the results last column it got changed from the count. Look at the last results. See here is a count, okay, but and percentage here there's no count. Count got changed with the total viewed, and here so percentage with the last content is equal to f means false. That means do not display that. Okay, so this is also you can do with a renaming count field, and disable some column if you want, or enable some column if you want. Did you understand this combination?
Yeah.
Okay, so now look at this another command, rare command. So you have seen multiple examples of top command. Rare command is a complete opposite of top command, and all these things what we have learned in top command will applied to rare command as well. So that means only the things which you have to change everywhere is top to rare. That means here you are trying to find out the top repetitive values of the any particular field, the values in the any particular field, and but rare will find complete opposite. It will find the rare entry in your records. So rare command return the at least common field values of a given field in the results. Options are identical to the top command. Okay, so options are identical to the top command. So whatever it is we have learned, you can see that. So now here the scenario is very simple. Read this please. Identify which product is least sold to Buttercup Games vendor over the last 60 minutes. That means you want to identify the which product is least sold by this vendor over the last 60 minutes. You want to know that. Okay, so that way you can find, okay, this product is not very popular, or some sort of analytical knowledge you get it. So here what you're doing, look at this, rare by what? Product name. So that means show me the product name, and in that rare entries which has in the product name which has been sold out, but also show percentage disable. F means false, and only show me the limit one. Okay, so that way you can use the rare command also and use it. So again, top and rare is having lots of similarities. Only the top is for the top values in the field, and rare is the rare values in the field. Make sense, guys?
Yeah.
Okay, now let's look at the stats command. Stats commands is very powerful and very vast, actually very vast. It has so many options. Okay, so what exactly stats command we will do? Stats command enable you to calculate statistics on the data that matches your search criteria. Okay, so common function which includes stats, there is a common function. I'm not giving you the complete list of function. If you go to the URL which is at the end of the slides, it has so many functions, hundreds of functions. You will find it which can be used with the stats. That's the reason I said it's one of the powerful command which you have in the uh, Splunk. Now, some of the common function which include the count, distinct count, sum, average, list, and values. Okay, so these are the combinations function, combined function you can use with this command, stats command. So here what is there? So here count return the number of event that matches the search criteria. Very simple. Whereas distinct count only return the unique values, count of unique values for a given field. So here in the count you may have a duplicate values entries, but here you have unique values for the given field. Sum, as it suggests, return the sum of the numerical values. Average, return an average of numerical values of that particular field. List all the values of the given field, and values list unique value. List and values, there's a difference. List all values of the given field, whereas the values list unique values of the given field. Okay, let's try to understand more. Look at this here. Okay, so here you are trying to use the count with the stats command combination. So count return the number of matching event based on the current search criteria. So what is the scenario? Scenario is count the invalid or failed login attempt during the last 60 minutes. Okay, so count that number of total invalid login attempts during the last 60 minutes. Just count. This command will work on the Linux sample code only, the one which you have downloaded yesterday. Okay, so here again you can use as a clause to rename the count field, which you know that clause always we can use to rename. So here you see the first script, you see that here the moment you use stats, look at the image very carefully. It's not an event, it is not a pattern. Suddenly it will get converted to statistics. So there were third tab which will get enabled. So the moment you use stats, the moment you use the stats, the output you will get is on statistics. Okay, you can.
To get our channel membership, click onto the join button, select the 399 plan and grow your skills immensely.
Create a very rich statistics also. Slowly we'll get into that. So here what you are doing, first search everything invalid or failed login and then give me the count. So stats count. Now by default it has given you the count, but in the second queries if you see, they have count, but same time they have renamed the field. So here you have stats count as potential issues, which got renamed from the count to potential issues. So this way you can also use the count with the stats command. Now let's move on to another scenarios. Here you can use combine count with the field also. So here you see here count, you specified the number of results which you got before the pipe, but here you can apply count and then parenthesis and field. So what is the difference between the last and this one? Let's try to understand here. So here adding a field as an argument to the count function return the number of events where a value is present for the specified field. Understand that? See here if the value is not present for the specified field, though it will be displayed and it will be added as part of this things. But here you want to particular values to be to exist to the specified field, and then only you display that entries. Okay, so here if you look at this here, the scenario is count the number of event during the last 15 minutes that contains a vendor action field. Action field, that means vendor has done some action. Okay, and also count the total event. Okay, so here what you're doing, stats count and then field name vendor action as action event, where you change the field name action event, and count as total events. Okay, so here you change that stats count vendor action as action events and then count as a total events also. So here you are getting the 52 and you see action event and total event is 59. So whereas your first you are running the count for the field, that means how many total vendor action has been done and that is present. So total vendor action has been completed 52, out of which total events done by all the vendor is 59. Okay, so that is the way you can also find out the results. So again, look at the count the number of events during the last 15 minutes that contains the vendor action field, and same time count the total event. Okay, make sense guys?
Yeah.
Okay, let's look at this another scenarios here. By field. So one of the scenario here what we have with the count itself is count the number of event by user, app and vendor action during the last 15 minutes. Okay, so here you have 3 fields added and you want to count. Okay, so here when you add a by clause the return count for the each value for the name field or set of values. So can use any number of fields in the by field list. So here you see the queries now stats count. Okay, but for by what? So by user, app and vendor action. So here you see here you have displayed user, app, vendor action, whereas the count has happened 1 something like that. So whatever the count, and here a percentage should also display, but that's not there actually here. Okay, now let's try to understand that distinct count. Now what is a distinct count? So count will not filter, the count will always count the repetitive values, whereas distinct count will always give you the unique values. So here distinct count, or you can also use DC, and it required parenthesis and then parameter by the field, may provides a count on how many unique values there are for a given field in the result set.
Okay, unique. This example counts how many unique values for the host name. So here, what is the scenario? You want to find out how many unique websites have employee visited in the last 4 hours. So if you want to know, understand that. If I want to know how many unique website you have visited in the last 4 hours, so how do I know? Unique website, not a repetitive. Because if you have access to gmail.com 200 times, so that's I don't want to know. I want to know unique website. That means every time it should be unique, not like a number of total website or number of total requests you have made against the website. No, I want to know the unique website. So here you see stats DC and the field name which states host name as for that particular, remember that particular user website. So you have to use the host name because each employees will raise a request against some website. So here what you are saying, give me the stats on the unique values for the host name, so that is become unique, and the website visited. So that way total website which was visited by the host name s underscore host name is 13. Okay, so that way you can find out the unique values of the given field. Now here you have sum. So what is sum? So sum basically for the field with a numeric value, you can sum the actual values of that field. Okay, so when you are some of the fields you have a numeric value and you want to calculate it, you can use the sum with the stats command. So here you scenario, look at the scenario here. How much bandwidth did employee consume at each website during the last week? So you want to know, okay, your employees who's consuming the different websites, they are accessing it. You want to know how much time they have spent. So one of the ways you like how much bandwidth they have consumed. Okay, so here what you are doing, stats sum by bytes. So there's one field you have in data, that's a Cisco data. Okay, so you want to know by bytes. Okay, and as bandwidth, so rename that field as the bandwidth, and by host name also, so display by the host name also. So host name will display the domain name. So you can find out, okay, so archerytalk.com, which has been consumed by most by your employees. Okay, so you can find out info blocks also, BGC access, Brad blog, NCL, SC, NCL. So these are the websites. So that way you can find out, okay, your employees are spending on these website more time than any other website. Okay, so very simple one, few commands which can fetch you so much of information detail. So are you able to understand this, the power of stats command? Are you able to understand this?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So now let's understand that sum also. So there's some certain rules are there. Okay, here a single stats command can so here when you do the sum, you have to use with a single stats command. Okay, that's things here. So here you can use let's understand the scenario first. Report the number of retail units. Understand that. Report the number of retail units sold and sales revenue for each product during the previous week. That means someone wants to see, give me the reports, okay, of number of retail units sold and total sales of revenue for each product during the previous week. Okay, that's the thing, means from last 7 days or whatever it is. So here you see that A, which basically single stats command, okay, count by price, because you want to know the retail units sold, number of retail units sold. Okay, so here you want to count, okay, and by what price field. Okay, so total number of sold, because price is something you will get to know if the transaction has completed, then only you get the price, right? So price is like a getting confirmation of that particular sales. Okay, so here you are counting the number of entries where you have a price fields, and here you can use the DC also, count instead of count, by the way. So count price as unit sold. So now we got the unit sold, but here there is another entry here. Look at this, sum price matlab means add the prices, okay, as well, and display that field as a total sales. But how do you want to see that? So here you have to add a clause by product name. Okay, so that means by, see here, report scenario, report the number of retail units sold and the sales revenue for each product. So each project means that by you have to add it, else you won't get it. So by product name, so for each product you got the unit sold and same time say total sales. So here you use the sum, and then on top you use the count. Now again there is a new command, it's a command sort by total sales. Then sort means total sales means chronicle order, topmost it will be displayed, and this is how. So you got to know, okay, Dream Crusher is one of the product which was sold 78 times, and the revenues which is generated on that particular things is 7119.22. Whereas if you look at the worlds of cheese tea, which is the least one, 47 times when it's sold, but the revenue is very least for that. So these are the statistics, you will find it from the logs itself. Logs has so much information, so you don't have to run any application, everything is in log. Are you getting these points?
Yeah.
Okay guys, now look at this average. Okay, so first, unless I'll read the scenarios, that way it will set the context. So here, what are the average bandwidth used for each website? Average bandwidth, website uses type. Okay, so here uses by use, each website uses type. Okay, uses type, when I say like social networking, banking, or any other type of website, so uses by uses type, use for each uses type. So here you by uses. Okay, so here here you can use the average field. So average function provide the average numerical values for the given numerical field. Okay, average function provide the average numerical values for the given numerical field. Okay, average value. Okay, not topmost, not lowest, average value. So they count everything multiplied by the number of fields which is got occur. So that is done by average field. So an event is not considered in the calculation if it, understand that, if that event is not considered in the calculation if it does not have the field, that field, and has an invalid values for the field. So remember, average need numerical values, and for that you require that write data, I mean the numerical content. So here how can you do that? So here you look at the stats of what? Average. Which average? Bytes. So you got the bytes, but give me that list by average bytes, and rename that as average byte, but give me the by uses. So by uses you got to know that particular field, you got to know the uses of that. Okay, so this is the way also you can use average. One is a list one. So list function list all fields given a fields values for a given a field. Okay, list function list all fields values for a given field. Okay, so for example, this example list the website. So first let's read the scenario. Which website has each employee accessed during the last 60 minutes? Okay, each employee here, that means whatever the employees, number of employees, you want to know by each employee which are the website which has been used. Every website, let's say I have access 20 website, it should display 20 website as per my name. Okay, so that's the requirement. Okay, so you want to know, okay, how can you know? So for that you have to use the list command with a stats combination. So here list function list all fields value for a given field. This example lists the website visited by each employee. Security logs generate an event for each network request. Yes, security, everything is written in the logs. Remember, unknowingly everything is in logs. So security logs generate an event for each network request, and the same host name appears multiple times. To return a list of unique field values, use the values function. Okay, so here what you are doing, start of what? List of what? Host name, list all this. List means all values. Okay, all the values. So list as host name. So that way you listed all the host name which is visited. But how do you want to change that website visited? But how do you want to see that? See username. So this is the way you can use list and field name combinations also. Now here values is a complete opposite of it. So here list will give you all the values, where the values commands will help you, function will help you to the only unique values. Okay, unique values for the specified field. Okay, not all. So display by IP address scenario is display by IP address the name of the user who have a failed access attempt in the last 60 minutes. Okay, that means you want to list out the IP address, the name of the users who have failed access attempt in the last 60 minutes. So here what you are doing, look at this, stats value by the user. So you want to know the username, right? By as username, and count that user as attempts by, as attempts means count user and rename as attempts. Okay, and by source IP. Okay, so here each IP address, you see that these are the usernames which has attempted number of times, and that got failed. Remember, fail star fail star. So are you able to get this? How can you use these combinations, values and other stuff?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, so now one more is stats table. Okay, so formatting stats table. How can you format stats table? So whatever the table you get it, can you format it? Can you format it means, can you give some special color, special sort of, you know, concentration key formatting things? So can you give it to, can you give it to that? Yes, you can give it. So tables created with stats command can be formatted. Color code data in each column based on the rules you define. Yes, look at this. You can define the color code and many other things also based on the rules you define. Okay, add number formatting, example currency symbol thousands separators. Okay, so here you see you want to add some numbers like currency symbol, those kind of formatting, color kind of formatting, you can add it. Okay, can also format data on a per column basis by clicking on the icon above that column also. Okay, so how can you do that? So when you get the stats in the left side, you can enable that. I'll show you during the demo. Okay, okay, you can go and select the colors and number formatting. So here in the first one is selected color and to the scale and preset custom, where the minimum number, if the minimum number, okay, is 99 and midpoint percentage is more than 50 or less than percentage 50, where the maximum highest value, okay, just give the green color. Okay, so here you are saying minimum number is 90.75. okay, that's a minimum number, and midpoint is 50, whereas maximum highest value, whichever is coming, you just enable that with the green color. So that is what we are doing. In the number formatting, here you are adding some euro sign here. Look at this. So here you are saying precision per 1,000 separations, no, yes, whatever it is, and unit, and before or after. So number formatting also you can do on the table which you get it. So two option is been given on the stats table which is being generated, number color or number, which you can also do that. So yep, overall, yes, this is the intermediate searching techniques. Stats is the most powerful command in intermediate searching. Some of the things which we have used is count, average, max, values, list, and all, but there are so many functions are given, so we can study. Now some of the examples, quick examples, you see stats, average, total bytes by each host, average, count the failed login by each user, you see. And these all examples will work on the home data, and then this one also, Linux data which you have got it. Rare command, we talked about it, and now demo. So guys, any questions so far? Any questions so far? Any questions so far?
No.
This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, and cd Splunk and bin, finally this one, username admin 123, admin 123, this all. Okay, so service got started. Now I'm going to use this machine as mine. This is mine. Okay, mine, this is yours. Now I'm using each one of you and replacing the IP address.
Rajesh,
So yeah,
Rajesh, my mission is not coming, that web server. Can you check this?
yeah,
That
I'm giving you
license,
the new IP address.
new IP address.
New
Okay.
IP, I'm giving you new IP address because AWS changes the IP address the moment you stop this.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, give me new IP, then I will try to install it.
Okay, so guys, this is your machines. This is mine. Let's not use mine. Now I'm going to access mine machines.
Rajesh, for me also.
Yeah, I'll just give you each one of you. Let me complete the demo first.
Yeah, Rajesh, my name is missing on that one.
Okay, I will add it. We'll add it.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so now admin 123. Okay, now I'm going to upload the new data today, and that is, now you know, site data input, added data, you can also directly do that. Skip, upload data. So this time I'm going to add four data for the demo today. So select. So yesterday I've given you this one, Linux one, DB audit and access. This is access Apache things. Okay, so one by one.
Rajesh, one doubt actually regarding the servers.
Mhm.
Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. Okay. So today we won't be getting the same mission as we received yesterday, right?
Yes, you won't get it.
Okay. So then, even if I mean, then there would be a problem in having that password, right? While trying to access Splunk.
Yeah, I'll tell
Not
you this. There's a
okay.
one way to change the password. I'll tell you. So that way
Okay.
we'll
Okay.
learn the
Fine.
change the password also.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Fine. Yeah. Yeah. Fine. Thanks.
Yeah. So guys, I loaded one of the data. I'll let it be everything same. And here I will do little bit different this time. Here I will do little bit different. What different? So here I am going to create my own index. So instead of main one, I'm not going to main one, creating my own index. So I'll name it index one. Okay. And here again, index type event and matrix, which I discussed yesterday, and locations and all. So I don't want to change anything, just name the index one, save it, and index one you see here, and review. So now it will be stored this data in an index one. Okay, submit. Okay, so upload in one index. I'll have a this time different index. You also do the same thing, have a different index, not a main. Okay, index one has a, okay. Now I will go to add a more data. This time again same thing, manually we are doing. Upload, select file. This is the DB audit. Next, source type is a structured data, automatically they will detect it's a CSV type. Okay, review, will see here DV. Done, submit. Now add more data. Upload, and select file, Linux data. So I'm having 3 index this time. Index management, that's how you have to build the index also. So we'll do the index management. Again, type, source type default has something has taken. And here default has taken, so you have to set this type. What is your type? So this is Linux type. This is the one type I'm creating. Save it. And here type I created index. Now this Linux data. So save it, review. Done. Okay. Last one, homes data sets also you have to add it. So some of the programs will run on that. Home. Remember home data set. So uploading. Select this. Go back. Home data set, which is here. Next is a structure one, CSV format. See, source type automatically detected CSV. So I don't have to set up the type. Okay. And here home. I'll just name it home. Save it. Review. Submit. Okay. Now we have to start searching. Okay. Now searching, that's the techniques which you have to learn. Intermediate search. Okay. So now you can check that. Let me. Now you can check that which are the kind of data you have. So if you really want to check, click on the search and how many index, how many total data type, source, and all stuff like that. See here, you will get it here. Let it come. It's still loading.
Please enroll our general membership for 399 plan to get access of all the parts.
Along with that, you can access our other tutorials such as Docker, Ansible, Jenkins, Terraform, Splunk, AWS, Azure, and various other DevOps related premium tutorials with our channel membership. If you would have any issues with our channel membership, you can drop an email to us at contact@devopsschool.com, or you can also unsubscribe from channel membership anytime if you don't want to continue or did not like the video. To get our channel membership, click onto the join button, select the 3D99 plan, and grow your skills immensely. Please be kind enough to like it, and you can comment any of your doubts and queries. We will reply to them at the earliest. Thanks for watching.